Okay, I think we are live. Okay. Oh, Rachel, I just sent a comment back to her, but I'll write a little bit more before people come in. Okay, so let's just hang out. Make sure that this is connecting correctly. I think it is. Just make sure. Oh, did someone join? Or just me? Let's see. I think it's working. Hi, Tammy. Thank you for joining. Hey! We were just talking on the DM, so it's not much of a change, but welcome. Oh, just got a notification. So, yeah, like I was saying, Tammy, when we were talking earlier, why do we just hold on to Hi, Yasmin. Hi, thank you for coming. Oh, you're gonna be on hold for a minute, so that works out. Yeah, I can stay on for just a little bit because I got work today, but maybe our times will match up. Thank you guys so much for coming. Oh, it makes me so happy. Yeah, I mean, I'll wait until, if other people come in to get in my feels, but yeah, I really appreciate your guys' support. BookTube wouldn't be what it was or what it is without you guys, so. Yasmin, did you start Oathbringer yet? Oh, thank you. I love Christmas. I can't help myself. Yeah, I mean, my house is slowly becoming Christmasified. It's a pain in the ass to put away, but, it makes for nice twinkly lights at night. Hope you guys don't mind I have my tea since it's morning here. Well, the fact that I take precedence over, let me put your thing up so people can see what I'm talking about. Well, the fact that, I take precedence over Dalinar, I feel so touched. No, Tammy! You were on hold with your internet provider, right? Yeah. Oh man, I hate that when you're like a couple minutes into the wait and you're like, oh, well, this better be worth it. And then you hang up. I used to actually work for insurance for a speech therapy office. So I had to make a bunch of insurance calls. And when I'm on hold for multiple minutes and they hang up on you, it's, especially if it's your job, whew, as per my last email was sent very often in my previous job. Oh, I'm sorry, love. Maybe it's just time to give up and read for the night. Just hang out. Oh, looks like we got some other people who joined us. Thank you for coming. Let's see. Haven't really gotten started yet. We'll wait a couple more minutes. Just hanging out. I just realized I'm very Ghibli-ified today, aren't I? Got my mug and my t-shirt. Just representing. So what's everyone's current read for those who are here? I'm reading Nevermore right now. And it was actually Tammy that convinced me to finally pick this up. But I'm this far into it. I was hoping to finish it yesterday, but it didn't work. It didn't work out. But I am loving this book. It's so whimsical and cute and fantastical. It's so good. Sophia, hi! Welcome. Let's see. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Yes, it changes with temperature because I'm a child and I still love shit like that. So right now you can see no face, but it'll change when I put fresh stuff in there. I'll show you later when I put fresh tea in there. Thank you, thank you. This was a gift from my parents a couple of years ago. It's my comfort t-shirt. Let's see. Ooh, an Ember in the Ashes. Yes. So, you know, I'm not shocked that we're rereading this at the same time. But yeah, I read the first one as part of like my booktube like retro reads challenge, and I was pleasantly surprised. So I'm gonna buddy read the second book, hopefully, with Lena over on Sufficiently Advanced Lena. And we're gonna pick up the second one soon, hopefully. Oh, I'm so glad I'm the one that convinced you to pick it up. I'm not surprised, though, that we have this reciprocal thing going on, twinning forever. Yes, yeah, it was like, I went into An Ember in the Ashes with the typical like YA fantasy trope, like, what's the word I'm looking for? Expectations, but it is not that, which I was pleasantly surprised. Yes, Yasmin, I highly recommend this. I've heard nothing but good things, and I'm going to be adding to that, unless the last part of this book is just like crap, which I highly doubt. It's so cute. And I actually just finished Giovanni's Room before this by James Baldwin, and that made me so depressed. So I needed something like cute and happy, and this was exactly what I needed. I don't know if anyone else has read Giovanni's Room, but that, wow, yeah. Oh, thanks, Aunt Janice. I do have great parents, don't I? Very supportive. Thanks for coming and stopping by. Are you reading anything at the moment? Memory of Souls. Is that the one that has the elephant on the front that Katie loves? Because I think I've seen that like floating around. And you had that in your wrap up or something, right? I think. Are you rereading? Because I think I know that book. Aw, Egypt. Thank you. Cute as a button, just like you. I heard you guys just did your Christmas tree. So yeah, I wanted to have a Christmassy background, you know. Living in Japan is wonderful, but Christmas isn't a thing here, which is fine. You know, New Year's is the big thing, but I'll bring my own Christmas cheer, damn it. Yeah, buddy reads are so frustrating because it's like, I don't know. I feel like you have every intention of reading with someone and then it never, ever happens. So I'll be sure to pass that information on to Lena, though. And I just skipped one. Ah, thank you, Sophia. Yes, I'm so beyond happy. I can't believe there are 500 people who want to hear what I have to say about books. Like, every time I think about it, my heart gets happy. It means the world to me. Okay, so yeah. It's the elephant one. Okay. Are you liking it? Waking Gods. Yes. I've heard of that one too. Is that's the sci-fi one, right? No. That's Sleeping Giants, right? Or is Waking Gods the later in that trilogy? I really need to get more into sci-fi, but that's a sci-fi, right? I think. All right, let me go ahead while you guys are just hanging out and pull up some of the questions people asked me. some of the Q&A questions. You guys had some really good ones. Let's see. Start from the bottom here. Okay, this is actually from Sarah, who's in here right now. Thank you. It says, what's your favorite hidden gem bookshop in Japan, if you have one? This is a really good question. I wish that I had some kind of, really good insider information here, but honestly, English books are just not, they don't make money here, so no one really has them. If you come to Japan, the biggest bookstore is named Tsutaya, but Tsutaya doesn't have any English books. It's all Japanese books. I mean, how dare they in Japan? But there is another smaller bookshop named Junkudo that does have a very small English section, extremely overpriced, but they do have English books. So if you come here and you want to get new English books, that's where you can go. But the one thing that I can say is there's a secondhand shop called Book Off, where people donate books and clothes and shoes and all types of stuff. And there's always a very small section of donated books in the far back corner of the store that are English books. And they might not be pretty, but they're cheap, and there's sometimes some gems in there. So I would say that's the best, but it's slim pickings, I'm happy when there's maybe a couple shelves there, I'm happy. But yeah, I would say Book Off. If you go search in the back corner, you can find some stuff. Let's see. So talking about Memory of Souls, right? Yeah. Oh, so it's a sequel to it. Okay, right. Yeah. I don't know. I'm tempted to pick it up, but I've heard that it's got really, I love complicated plots, but I've heard that it's got a lot of different storylines going at once, and I just don't know if I'm down for a new book with new storylines at the moment. Thank you. Thank you so much for coming. I appreciate that you came in to stop by. Oh, well, you know what? I wish you could. You'd have a place to stay. I love hosting people. Yeah, this pandemic is making it pretty difficult. I love living here, but as soon as you tell me I can't leave, then of course I want to go and visit home, So, but it really is a wonderful place to live and to be. Of course, all places have positives and negatives, but girl, I'm telling you, in the future, if you come, you got a place to stay. I'll take you out for some good food, Let's see. Let's go to the second question here, which is from, I just lost my page. We love that for me. Okay, second question is favorite childhood book. Okay. Anyone who knows me knows I cannot choose favorites. It's just impossible. But if I just go to the books, talk about the books that I loved when I was a kid, of course, I loved Harry Potter, by She Who Must Not Be Named. Those books still mean the world to me. And I just, in the privacy of my own life, I will relive those nostalgic feelings, but I don't think I necessarily need to promote, that on my channel. So I haven't talked about it, but definitely the HP. Also, when I was really young, I loved The Magic Tree House. I would go to the library and pick one and then just go into the reading room and read the whole book before I went home. I wouldn't even take it out of the library. So I remember I loved Diving with Dolphins, I think was the dolphin one. Anyway, I loved those books. And finally, the Warriors series. I don't know if anyone else has read the Warriors series, but it's this series about cats that, have their own society, and they like have wars among themselves. And it was my shit. I loved it so much. Oh, also, Dealing with Dragons. I think it's a trilogy, but it's I think it's a middle grade, about a princess who runs away because she doesn't want to do princess things, really, I think. And then she ends up living with dragons, and there's a lot of really sassy situations in that book. And I don't remember anything else besides the fact that the princess and the dragons were sassy and therefore they got along. But I loved that series as well. Let me catch up on some comments here. Also, live in Japan. Book off is my favorite. Okay, Infinity Books. Yeah, we don't have that in Fukuoka, or I've never seen it anyway. Ooh, I would love to check out some bookstores with books that I can read. I don't know about your Japanese comprehension, but my reading comprehension is much lower than my speaking, so I can't read Japanese novels yet. So I am isolated to, English bookstores, but I will definitely look into Infinity Books if I can. Huh. It's really cool to talk to someone else who lives here. Hey, Deidre, thank you so much for coming in. Oh, I'm so happy everyone's here. Yes, Magic Tree House. I mean, the alliteration in the titles gets me every time. I love it. What was it, Dawn of the Dinosaurs and stuff like that? I see new ones. They're still making new ones, though. Sometimes they pop up. Yeah, I remember I tried to get my dad to make a tree house. Bless his heart, because I imagined that if I had that environment, then it would become magical as well. So bless his heart. I think he started the process and then just kind of somewhere along the way stopped. And I had forgotten that I wanted it at that point, so it was okay. Oh, really? I didn't know that. So it was a family thing. No worries. Thank you so much for coming. I know that the time over here doesn't necessarily always match, the time where people are, especially because not all of my viewers, but a lot of them are American. So I know that it's, can be kind of late or bad timing. So it just means a lot that you guys stopped in anyway. All right, let's see. Next one is from Shar. Oh no, did she leave oh, she was just saying she'll try to join. Okay, so let's see. Next one, Yasmin left me some good comments here. Hold on. Looks like my dad is in the chat. What do you mean? You couldn't make a magic tree house for me? What horrible parenting. A for effort. All right, let's see. What else do I have here? Okay, so Yasmin said, favorite place you've traveled to? That's a good question. I think up until now, it would have to either be Indonesia or Italy. So very, very different places. But I lived in Italy for about half a year. I studied abroad there. And I mean, as someone who loves food, you just cannot beat the food in Italy. I mean, Japan has amazing food as well, but Italian food is my weakness. So I really, really loved living there for that, and for being able to travel easily throughout the country. That was really nice. It was also beautiful. But I would say also Indonesia is a completely different experience, but it shows you what kind of traveler, what kind of person you really are. I don't know really how to explain that. Like, for example, I went with Hayato, my husband, and our style's very adventure style. So we like to go backpacking and stay, in like Airbnbs and stuff. We don't really do hotels, and that lends itself really well to Indonesia. So we did a lot of backpacking throughout there when we were there, and I just got to experience so many things. Like we hiked Ijen, which is a volcano, and it's one of the only volcanoes in the world. It's not active currently, but if you go into the crater, it's one of the only places in the world where you can see blue fire instead of red fire because of the chemicals that are in the mountain itself. And so we did that. We took a tour where we left at midnight, and we drove up to the mountain, and then we hiked from midnight to maybe 3 a.m. at the top. And then at night, we went into the crater. And there wasn't too much visibility when we were there. Just kind of, it's nature, so it depends on the day. But it was gorgeous. I tried to take a picture, but it just didn't work. But seeing it in person was pretty incredible. And then we hiked we were still on the top of the mountain for the timing of sunrise. So we got to see the sunrise come up. There's also a huge acid lake at the top that's like bright blue. Don't touch it, it'll burn the skin off your bones, but it was gorgeous to watch the sunrise over that. So, we like that type of adventure. And, Italy, I think, is more for leisure, in my opinion. But going to Indonesia, there's so much adventure to be found. It was gorgeous. I think that's supposed to be an emoji. In Italy, I lived in Florence or Firenze. I don't know why Americans say Florence, where everywhere else in the world they say Firenze, but yeah, I lived in Florence, and it was absolutely gorgeous. The food. Where have you been? Where have you been in Italy? I did visit Rome and where I went to see Bon Iver when I was in Italy. Where did I see it? Milan. I went to Milan to see him, but I was only there for the concert, so I didn't see much of that place either. But if I compare Florence to Rome, I prefer Florence. Yeah, I think this popped up when I was talking about Ijen. Yeah, it was absolutely beautiful. It's really out of the way from everything else in Bali or like around Bali that people do. But I don't think it was a great vacation, but I don't think we slept like one full night because it was really out of the way and we didn't have a place to stay in that area. So after that hike, we had to go back. We had to hire a driver and go back to the main area. There's so many stories from mishaps and happy accidents, if I want to be Bob Ross for a second, in Indonesia. But I highly recommend going there. Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a hike. Yeah, you should be in a little bit of shape, like hiking shape, before you do that. Although there are people who you can hire to bring you up the fucking mountain. Like they have like little rickshaws and they'll take you up. And I'm like, if that ain't the laziest white person shit I've ever seen, you're going to hire a local. Like, you're going on this thing to hike, but you're going to hire a local to carry you up the damn mountain. Anyway. Napoli. Yeah, I didn't get to go there, but the birthplace of pizza. I'm so disappointed. Did the pizza taste different there? Was it special? Oh my gosh, girl. I didn't know that. That is so cool. Oh my gosh. Well, you need to give me some advice and some places I need to go when I return. I'll be hitting you up. Oh. Sid, hi! Welcome. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my gosh. Oh, yay, perfect timing. Let's get it. after work. Thank you for all that you do, by the way, being on the front lines, holding it down. I'm not in America at the moment, but my family is, and they have you to thank for getting their health care. So thank you, Sid. And yes, I'm so happy. 500 people want to hear what I have to say. I can't get over that. At least you admit that about yourself, There were people doing it 100%, and I guess it might help, the local economy a little bit, but hey, Dad, looks like we're gonna need a tree house so I can go on some adventures. Yeah, I've heard that it's delicious everywhere, but I've heard that the South is just like, it's a whole different level there. So Atlantis? I'm not sure what you're referencing there. Sorry, ma'am. Dad, looks like you're gonna be busy. We're getting requests for magic tree houses everywhere. So okay, next one from Yasmin. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, what you eating? Tacos, I think. Tacos or pizza. Oh, that's hard. Yeah, tacos. I just love them so much. Like the Tex-Mex style is what I'm used to. So like American, Mexican food, tacos. Yes. I made myself tacos the other night and they were good, but they were like the healthy tacos with too many vegetables, I needed more cheese in there. But yeah, tacos 100%. Next one. If you could live in one fictional world, where? This is so hard because I read a lot of fantasy where like the world is fascinating to read about, but I don't want to live there because my ass is going to die, What fictional world would I want to live in? Nevermore would be fun, actually, my current read, because, this isn't a review, but I wish there was a little bit more world building where I could see a little more details about the actual city itself. But from what I've seen so far, it's really whimsical and cute. And I love when like places have sentience. So there is a building in this book that changes, I don't want to do any spoilers, but that changes to fit the person that's in the building. And I just love that kind of whimsical aspect. So I think that this would be really cool. Maybe also I would want to live in Janloon, I think, for the Greenbone Saga. It's a really tough magic system. I'm not saying that I would be able to handle Jade. Hopefully I could. But if I could, harness Jade, that would be amazing to live there. All right, let's see what we got. My heart just broke. Only twice? It's so good. They're so good. Highly recommend. Always more cheese. You can't go wrong with that. Absolutely not. Grishaverse. Yeah, that's actually a pretty good one. Yeah. I feel like the magic system there is really, really unique. I wouldn't necessarily want to live in Ketterdam for the Six of Crows, but in other areas of the Grishaverse, I could definitely dig that. Yeah, I would just have to accept I would probably die, but I would experience it while I was still alive. So, I'll take that. Nevermore, exactly. Please do it, Sid. Oh my God, it's so good. I am on the hype train. I'm going to be pushing it. I still haven't finished it, but it is, yeah, well worth your time. Oh, that's easily fixed, right? Just look up a recipe, right? Yeah, see, I don't know. Like, I looked at my bookshelf, and of course, my eyes went to Jade City and Jade War because I am obsessed. But like you're right, political turmoil and gang warfare. Yeah, but like I don't know, Jade and Shay. I don't know. Maybe I would just want to be around my favorite characters. I think that's probably what the actual pull is. Although not Hilo. Hilo's out for me. Mm-mm. I know there are people that disagree with me on BookTube, but not after Jade War. No, no, no. The Shire, yeah. You know, I can't believe I didn't even think about that. Lord of the Rings was so formative for me. That would be amazing to live there. Just drink and be merry. Oh, of course. Sid, thank you for popping in. Take care of yourself, all right? Love you bunches. Talk to you soon. Chill out and get fat. Exactly. Exactly. Although, you know, I don't know if I'd want to be a hobbit in the Shire because I don't want those feet. But I would like to hang out in the Shire. Willy Wonka's Chocolate Factory. That's a good one. I like that. I have never seen the original movie, actually. I know it's pretty crazy, but I've only ever seen the Johnny Depp one. Look, Sophia, the things that he did, he's out. It's just, it's over for him, for me. No. Okay, I will give you, Sophia, that without him, the series wouldn't be as good. But that doesn't mean I have to like him, you know? So I admit that he's necessary, but I don't have to like that he's necessary. Look, I draw my line in the sand. I said what I said. All right. And the last one from Yasmin is, what made you decide to start a BookTube channel? Well, honestly, like I think a lot of people who started at the same time as me, which is a lot of people in this chat actually, when the pandemic started and I was indoors and I'd watched BookTube for a really, really long time. Not really, really long, that's dramatic, but like a year or two. And I wanted to do something with my newfound time. And why not, you know, start talking about the books that I was always reading, you know? So, you know, I think I just wanted to add my voice to the conversation rather than just only listening, because at that point as well, I was like a lurking watcher. I didn't really comment or engage with people. And then after I started making my own content, that's when I started to engage. So I think that, yeah, it was basically I had time on my hands to do my hobby. And so why not add a little bit more to that hobby? Okay, let's see. This is from Bree, the Lockbooktician. How do you get your hair so perfect? That is so sweet. And Tammy, +1 to the question as well. Honestly, my hairstylist here is fire. Hayato's family has like a family like hairstylist. That was a lot of family in one sentence. But they have a family hairstylist that they go to, and he just kind of has his own private place where he's the only person working there, and he like gets clients by word of mouth. So they introduced him to him. They introduced him to him. They introduced me to him, and his cuts are fantastic. So before I started going to him, I actually had really long hair. Until about maybe 2 years ago, it was like down to here. It's even hard for me to picture at this point. I can't picture it, but yeah, it was really long. And I started going to him, and Japanese hairstylists like to play with color, but a lot of people in Japan can't get dramatic haircuts because their jobs don't allow it. So jobs here and schools here are really, really strict. You can't dye your hair. You can't, you know, have crazy cuts. You can't, you know, shave the side or whatever. Very, very strict. So while the hairstylist might want to do that, a lot of people can't do that. So when I first started going to him, I started to get, the undercut here in the back that most people start with, that, showed when I put it in a ponytail. And he was like really excited to get to do that style cut. And then slowly but surely, I started chopping more of it off, like shaving the side and stuff like that. And then finally one day I just said, let's cut it all off. And he was ecstatic that he was going to get to give me a pixie. So from then on, he's just been my hairstylist. When it comes to actual hairstyling, I just take like nice hair cream and I just scrunch it. It's super easy. Yeah, styling, pixies require styling. You can't not style it. Otherwise you look like a mushroom head. There's no way around that, but they're easy to style in my opinion. All right, let's see. We're all quarantine babies. Yes. Such good stuff came out of that, a silver lining for COVID. I saw you sent me, I don't know if you sent me the picture. Did I? I don't think I creeped on you. I think you sent me the picture, Tammy, of you with the pixie. And I was like, who is she? I mean, you look gorgeous now anyway, but like, the pixie looks so good on you. I really wish you'd bring it back. I know that you said like you're not feeling it, now because you can't go get a haircut often, but you look so good with one. Oh, thank you. Yeah, it's not, I don't know how to say it. Like as soon as you cut your hair off, you know whether it was the right choice or not. And as soon as I saw my hair on the ground, I was like, this is the way it's supposed to be, Every once in a while, I miss long hair, but very, very infrequently. You should do it, Sarah. You do you. Can't picture me with long hair. I can't either anymore. Like when I look in the mirror, I'm like, what did I look like, Oh, Chris, thank you. This, she's known me, Chris has known me since I was like 2. So she has seen the process that I've gone through to find the hairstyles that work. So I appreciate that. Although middle school was a bit, Did anyone else do the thing where they covered one eye with their bangs? The emo phase that you go through where just you pretend you don't have an eye. I went through that phase for a really long time. Bless my heart. Yeah, there's no escaping the mushroom once it grows out. There just isn't. It's either you got to get a haircut or you got to wear a hat until it grows out long enough. There's no middle. Thank you. Thank you, Alvin. I appreciate that. It's a big number for me. I know in the grand scheme of BookTube or YouTube in general, and also BookTube is not a big number, but for me, I'm happy. Do it, Sophia. Oh my gosh, you would kill that look. I'm gonna need you to do that now. I'm taking this as a promise. So if you don't, you're hurting me. Please do it. Yes, exactly. Oh, the scene hair. Yeah. Yeah. I wish there wasn't picture evidence of that phase in my life, but there is, unfortunately. Okay. Oh, thank you, Tammy. Yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. So I can't wait to see where I can go from here. So, and it's under a year, so yay. All right, let's see. Rachel, who commented at the beginning that she unfortunately won't be able to make it, but she left some questions on Twitter. So she said, how did you come to live in Japan? Okay, well, this one, I think I answered this in the other Q&A that I have on my channel. I think I did it at 200 subscribers. So my dad works for NASA. So when I was young, he would travel a lot to come to Japan to work with JAXA. And so the Japanese version of NASA. So I would travel back and forth. I was a very lucky child because I was able to travel back and forth at a really young age whenever he had to come here for work. And I just remember when I was in elementary school, the first time I came here, something about it just struck a chord with me. I mean, I thought the food was gross and I didn't want to eat, I wanted to eat like peanut butter and jelly and chicken nuggets because I was, a trash American child that wasn't having any of the fish stuff over here. But besides the food, I remember just loving my experience here. And I also was able to come back in middle school and in high school. And when I came back in high school, it was because I decided I wanted to travel abroad or study abroad here. So I studied abroad here in high school, and by chance, my company chose Fukuoka. So I was sent to Fukuoka, where I live now, instead of Tokyo by chance, or Osaka or any of the other big cities. And I fell in love with this area and with my host family and just with Japan. So of course, when my study abroad was over, I returned home and I worked in America for a while. I went to university in America, but then there was a pull towards this country that I just couldn't resist. So after I graduated and worked for a while, I decided I wanted to move back. And where else was I going to move but Fukuoka? I love this city so much. It's amazing. It's so easy to live in. And yeah, and then I was only planning on being here for a couple of years. And then I met my now husband. And I've been here for about 5 years now. So, it just kind of snowballed in that regard. But it is a really good country to live in. So that's how I came to be here. All right, let's see. Your favorite part about living where you are, or do you miss anything about America? So that's a great follow-up question. So my favorite thing about Fukuoka would be the food. Like Fukuoka food is so good. And sorry, I got distracted by a comment. I'll put those up on the screen in a second. But the food in Fukuoka is absolutely amazing. So the ramen that most people eat is Tokyo-style ramen, which is a shoyu-based or soy sauce-based ramen. But in Fukuoka, they have a pork bone-based ramen called tonkotsu ramen. And it is the best ramen I've ever had in my life. You can't beat it. Like I knew that I had become like a Fukuokan at heart when I became very elitist in my ramen thought processes. Because when I first came to Japan, I was like, it's all ramen, it's fine. But now when I eat anything besides tonkotsu or pork bone-based ramen, I'm like, what is this plebeian food? So I knew that I became Fukuokan at heart at that point. So I would say I really like the food and I love the accessibility to different places. So I can go to the beach, I can go to the mountains, I can go to rice fields all within 30 minutes. So it has pretty much all of the nature that I could want as an outside-based nature-loving person. So I really love that too. Thank you, Yasmin. Yes. Yes. So in order to start the visa process and paperwork, we have gotten officially married. I know. I didn't really make any big announcements on social media. My family did a wonderful thing making a private Facebook group where I could celebrate with family. But we, because it's in a pandemic, we didn't do a wedding or anything like that. But we are officially married on paper, which is very exciting. My life hasn't changed at all. We're already living together and everything, but it's, yeah, it hasn't really hit me yet. But yeah, I'm officially a wife. Yes, tonkotsu, you can't beat it. It smells like absolute crap when they're making it. But once you start eating it, it's, oh my gosh, you can't go back. There's no way. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to drop that so casually, but I guess I've I'm starting to become accustomed to it. But yeah, we'll definitely be doing a celebration later, but it's pretty crazy to say my husband, honestly. Thank you, Sophia. Yeah, I actually, you know, if you had asked me when I first came to Japan if I was going to find a husband here, I would have laughed in your face because I didn't think that I would match a typical Japanese person. But here I am, very happy. Okay, best food you've had in the last 2 weeks. I'm about to toot my own horn here because I made homemade chicken noodle soup the other day, and that just warmed my soul. It was my mom's recipe that she gave me, and I hadn't had chicken noodle soup in a really, really long time. So eating that was just soul food for me. So homemade chicken noodle soup. Book you'd recommend to people new to fantasy. I mean, honestly, like something like Six of Crows is really good for people who are new to fantasy because it's so character based, and you know, it's character based, and even though it has different perspectives like fantasy typically does, it's not hard to track them. So I would definitely recommend picking that up. I think also Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson would be good. Again, it's a character based book. So if you're coming out of another genre, I think that's something that you could attach to if you're not used to the rest of you know, fantasy elements. The magic system is a little bit difficult in Warbreaker, but it's not overwhelming. So I think that would be another really good one. Yeah, Six of Crows is a really good gateway to get people in, 100%. Until we can get them into the Stormlight Archive. That's the real goal, you know, in the end. Let's see. Any cool videos you made that didn't make the cut? Yes, actually. There's one that unfortunately I really wish I had been able to post, but I was tagged in ages ago by a booktuber named Poraline. I think she's on a break right now. But she tagged me in the international book tag, and I filmed it, and it gave me a chance to kind of talk about where I live and all of that. But I don't know why. I think I just ran out of time to edit it, and then I was wearing a sweater in it, so it was summer. So I was thinking, posting this just shows that I filmed it a long time ago, but it's sweater weather again. So maybe I'm calling myself out now, but I might go ahead and try to post that, even though it's pretty old, because I liked the video. I just never got around to editing it. I don't know if anyone else has that issue. Okay, let's see. Yes, it's just a gateway, you know, gateway drug to get him into Stormlight. I mean, I think a normal person would hear that and be like, nah, you know, 1,000 pages, that's a hard no for me. But I mean, you just got to get them reading. If you get them reading, I think that they're going to be hooked. Thank you. Thank you. That means so much to hear. Yeah, it feels good. It feels really good to have that number. Okay, last one from Rachel. What's your process in making content? It used to be really organized, and then my life got busy, and now it's just chaos. But typically, I have like a notebook where I write down all my ideas or tags that I want to do, and then I post, like I write when I filmed it, when I want to post it, or when I want to film it, when I want to post it, and then I go from there essentially. So basically writing down my ideas and then executing them. That's the most boring answer I could give to that. But honestly, it's, I mean, sometimes inspiration will strike, right? So I have the channel or the series that I used to do that I really want to start again, which was my Japanese mythology and like fairy tale series, where I talk about like yokai or different creatures or mythological stories that are important in Japan. And I loved making that series. The videos flopped every time, which is just a shame, but seems to be the case when you do something outside of the normal, booktube stuff. But I really enjoyed making those videos, and they take a lot more research and a lot more time to put together. So when my life got busy, I kind of fell off of making those. But I would really, really like to get back to making those again, because they were really fun and educational for me as well. So I learned stuff through the process of making them, So I would say it depends on the video. So most videos, I just write the idea down and then I execute it. I never really write a script though, or anything, except for I do write outlines for videos like the mythology video. By osmosis, get her into it. Oh, yay! Welcome to the Cosmere. Yeah, I mean, it's a lot of pages to read, but I read them very slowly whenever I read Cosmere books, but I enjoy every minute of it. So I'm jealous that you get to experience everything for the first time. I hope you love it. Elantris is one of my absolute favorite Brandon Sanderson books, which is not a very popular opinion, but I really hope that you love it when you start. I would love to get updates from you whenever you start. Yeah, the mythology videos. I really want to get back to them. They brought me a lot of joy when I made them. And like I said, they didn't do well, but I think making content that you like and that you care about is kind of like a form of self-care. It's pretty important. So I do plan to get back to those soon. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, since I've got some interest going on in the comment section here, I'll definitely make that a priority to get back to them, because yeah, it's really intriguing to see what's the same between cultures, what's different, how there are things that are internalized in Japanese society, but you don't know kind of where they come from until you look at the mythological aspect and see where they're pulled from. So when I did a whole video on oni, which are like Japanese demons, I guess you could think of it that way. And they're really internalized into Japanese culture. They're in kids' games. They're, when a woman is angry, people make this gesture to say that she's, being like an oni. But I didn't make those connections until I was doing the research for the video. And it's really cool to see where those references all come from, Have I read anything purely for a video? Yes. For my Retro Reads BookTube challenge that I have on my channel, where I read like older BookTube favorites from over 5 years ago. I pull them out of a cup. And my goal, I specifically put ones in there that I knew I wouldn't pick up. Like I have no interest in like YA contemporary at all. But I put a bunch of those in there hoping, I could get some new books that I really enjoyed. And there are books that I've pulled out that I really haven't wanted to read, but read them specifically to have that. So I'll be doing a wrap up of all the books I read this year from that series. But one of the books that I didn't want to read at all, but was pretty happy I did in the end, was Simon versus the Homo sapiens agenda. I mean, that's a BookTube baby. Just hit my computer. That's a BookTube baby. But I had absolutely no interest in picking it up at all. And I ended up giving it, I think I gave it 4 stars, 3 or 4, because it was more enjoyable than I would have expected, for being a genre I don't typically enjoy. So yeah, I have read books purely for a video. I know that there have been, the other one would be The Darkest Minds. I read that for that challenge, and that one did not end so well. I wouldn't have picked it up if it weren't for that video, and it also was just not my favorite. So I'm not interested in continuing that series at all. So the answer would definitely be yes in that regard. Oh, okay. So I've got multiple people saying they're interested in the mythology videos. I've got two on my channel right now currently. The first one is the story of Princess Kaguya, who is the moon princess. So I have that one up on my channel, and I also have the Oni one up on my channel. And I know what my next one is going to be. I just have to do the work to research it and make it. But I'll be sure to get that out then. Oh, that makes me so happy if people are interested in that content. Because like I said a million times, I love making it. Stalk away, love. I'll be answering any comments you put in there. They're there for a reason, right? The videos are there for a reason. Yeah, Simon. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I thought it was good. I haven't seen the movie, but I know people really enjoyed the movie as well. I'm being called out. Yes, that is the one that I know I'm going to do next. Yep. So I just have to do a little bit more research. I started it and I got maybe 3/4 of the way through, but I'm not happy with where it is yet. So I need to do a little bit more research. But Momotaro will be the next one in that series. Yes, a very quintessential story. Okay, I think we've got one more question on Twitter. And that is from Deidre, who was here earlier, who I think had to leave. But she said, a bookish tattoo that you like, either that you already have or think would be cool to get. So something I don't talk about on my channel is how much I love tattoos. I would be covered in them if I had access to a good tattoo artist in Japan where I live. There are tattoo shops near me, but I don't necessarily vibe with the art on that artist like Instagram. So, you know, I'm at the point in my life where I don't want to get a tattoo just to get a tattoo. I want to get a tattoo that I enjoy the art of. So I do want to get an official tebori tattoo before I leave Japan, which is the traditional hand poke style. I think I want to get a little daruma in that style before my husband, still weird to say, and I move back to America in the future. But besides that, I got off track there. So I love tattoos, and I would definitely have more of them if I was near my artist in the States. But the bookish tattoos that I have that I love, well, you know, I have a Harry Potter half sleeve here mixed with nature. And then the second half of this arm, I think, is going to be Lord of the Rings, because those two were so formative to my bookish life. So I don't have my Lord of the Rings part of my sleeve yet, of course, but I'm thinking maybe here I want to get Minas Tirith or some kind of building from Lord of the Rings, maybe a hobbit hole on the inner part of my arm here. But that's one that I want to get. For one that I have, I think here, this Grim teacup. Why can't I figure out how my arm works here? The Grim teacup here that I have with the Grim coming out in smoke is probably my favorite bookish tattoo that I have right now, because it's gorgeous and the shading is so well done. I love my American artist. So I would say this one. And I also have, looks like we might have, I'm not sure what those comments are, but what was I going to say? I also have a quote that I share with my best friend. So I don't know if you know the poem Invictus by William Ernest Henley, but the last two lines of that poem are, I am the master of my fate, and I am the master, or I am the captain of my soul. And my best friend and I both have one of those lines. So I have, I am the master of my fate. And then she has, I am the captain of my soul. And I just love that it's a literary tattoo, but it's also not, it's like a matching tattoo, but it's not. I don't know, I love it. So that, and then the teacup probably are my favorite that I have. Let's see. I love the Grim teacup tattoo. Thank you. Yes, it's gorgeous and the shading is amazing. Thank you. Yes, my artist did an amazing job. I can't wait to go back to him. Who's your favorite fantasy book character? This is a good one. Either Yasna from the Stormlight Archive, or I'm looking at my shelf like it's gonna, give me the answer, but I would say Yasna or maybe Shay from Jade City. Those two characters just give me life. Like every time they're on the page, I'm like, yes, I need more of this. So I would say maybe those two, my favorites. Yes. The best friend tattoo there ever was and ever will be. Yasna, yes. Oh my God. I love how she's so unapologetic in who she is. She's not unnecessarily cruel to others, but she will not budge from who she is. And I just respect that so much. Queen is the best way to describe her, the perfect way. Oh, best bad guy. That's a really good question too. I mean, I really enjoyed reading about Clooney the Scourge in our reread of Redwall, just because he was just unapologetically evil, and that was really fun to read about. But it looks like we've got some users who aren't actually, they're kind of just spamming the chat. So get them out of here. Okay. What was I saying? Okay, now that we've got someone blocked there. Best bad guy, yeah. So Clooney the Scourge from Redwall, really, he was just fun to read about, but he wasn't a complex villain at all. But I had a lot of fun reading about him. But I would say, I mean, I know it seems like a broken record at this point, but I just keep looking at Jade City. So Ayat Mada from the Greenbone saga, she is a fantastic villain because every single time she talks about how she wants to, like, the motivations for what she wants to do, I'm like, well, wait a minute. I agree with everything you just said. And I think if I was in that world, I would go to her side, because I'm like, wait a minute. This makes way too much sense. So I think she might be my best bad guy currently, that I can think of. Yes! One of us. How are you liking it? Are you liking it? Yes, Shay is she's such a complex character, and she makes really difficult decisions. And I like how her morality is allowed to not be perfect, but you still love her anyway. She's great. Yeah, exactly. How are you finding Way of Kings? Sophia, tell us, we need to know. Yeah, Clooney. He was just fun, just a comical villain, cookie cutter. It was great. For those of you who don't know, I'm doing like the Redwall readathon on my channel, and it's like a middle grade book where all the animals, or all the creatures, woodland creatures, are the main characters. And Clooney is like this nasty sea rat who comes in and tries to fuck up everyone's life. And he's really fun to read about because he's just pure evil. It's great. Okay. So it looks like we are reaching the end. I think we're at the end of the Twitter questions. So I guess we're just gonna wait to see if Sophia's still around to tell us what she thinks of Way of Kings, because Yasmin and I need to know. Though we need to know what you're thinking. But what about you guys? What do you think? Let's go back to that tattoo question. Like, if you guys could get a bookish tattoo, what would you get? Because like I said, I want to get Lord of the Rings here. But I don't know. I want to be covered in tattoos. So I haven't really decided. It's hard for me to decide what I want to get. But I think I want to get something from the Greenbone Saga in the end. Maybe a lantern to symbolize being a lantern man. Right? Before we end, we got to know. Yeah, I think the reason I have that idea is because like the peak would fit really nicely here for Minas Tirith. So I think that would look awesome to have right there, to have the peak fit in this spot. "38 pages in." Yeah, I mean, he hits the ground running. What are there, like 3 prologues? Yeah, it'll all make sense though. Yes, sleeves. I want to complete mine so bad. So bad. Unfortunately, you know, in Japan, tattoos are not accepted. If you're a foreigner, you can get away with more, but you definitely have to cover them when you work. Just like on my forehead. I hate tattoo. Although there is the superstition that you'll, you know, have a bad relationship with whoever's name you get tattooed on you. So maybe it would just be a self-fulfilling prophecy. Yeah, exactly. Ooh, that would be awesome. That would be awesome. Considering you live in Japan too, I mean, would you get it in a covered area, or you got a sleeve going on, or what are you thinking? Starless Sea, yeah. I mean, I wasn't a fan of the book itself, but I definitely can't deny that the imagery is beautiful. You know, bees, keys, you know, books, libraries. There's a lot of really cool imagery that would work great for tattoos. 100%. Oh, okay. Yeah, well, thank you so much. I know it's getting late there, so I really appreciate that you joined the family here. And thanks for stopping by. Sailor Moon, yes. Yes, I've toyed with that for so many years. Absolutely. I'm a Sailor Jupiter stan though, so maybe I'll get something with Jupiter. But oh man, you can't go wrong with Sailor Moon. Okay. All right, guys. Well, if anyone has any last comments, feel free to make them, but I've got to start getting ready. I got to go to work today. The job that I have, you know, I work from the afternoon to nighttime. So I got to start getting ready to go. But either way, I just want to say thank you one more time, like so much for watching my content and returning to my channel. Of course, when I made content, I expected or I wanted to engage with people, but I didn't expect to get such a good response in return. And, you know, the people who are in this chat, all of us, you know, started around the same time. And I'm so thankful for the friendships that I've made. I truly, truly do. I can't believe what good friendships I've made online, you know, in these past couple months. So thank you guys so much. I really appreciate it. Let's see, hold on, people. Oh, thank you. Yes, Yasmin, thank you for joining. I love that you love it here. I love it on your channel too. Your content gives me life. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you could join too. Thank you. Yes, that is the goal. I mean, you know, hopefully it's like a snowball, and once you get to a certain amount, it can be easier to continue. But I would love if I could make a teeny tiny little bit of side hustle money one day. that'd be wonderful. That's not the final goal, but 1,000 subscribers is necessary to be able to do that. So we'll see. Yes, 1,000. Hell yeah. Of course. Thanks for joining. Have a good rest of the day too, since you're in my part of the world. 1,000 bitches. Tell Connor I say hi too. Thank you. All right. Well, I love you guys to death. Thank you so much for coming. And let's all talk again soon. Love you guys, but I'm going to head out. Bye.